Hey guys, what's going on? It's Crypto Man back again. Just wanted to give a general update. Um, I'm looking to do a podcast in the next probably the next week. I'm still working at my real life job, overtime, so it's really hard to make the time to get some of this done. Yeah, at the same time, I really want to keep it up. And, consistent content gives people an idea that, they can keep their finger on the pulse of the project and truly know what its stats are, how it's doing in the background, all those kind of things. I'm happy to help with that. And, additionally, I think there's a couple tutorials that I really want to put out. Escal, the lead developer and owner of Expatron, a small time exchange that's out there. I think it's going to make a comeback. I'm actually really excited to see that. But he made a script for sending transactions, which is very helpful for mining, and I want to get that out to you guys. I want to basically show you where you can find it, how you can use it, all the necessary precautions that come with it. Just like anything else that I recommend, nothing is risk free, especially when you're this early in a project and everything is so experimental and new. There's no real fine line that is identified, and it can be kind of a moving goalpost in terms of risk tolerance, security, just general, I guess, reward potential as well. So you really got to pay attention to what you're comfortable with doing. But I think that Escal script is great. I think that the Bitcoin POW Fuel bot is great. Um, they both can help you send transactions at a much faster rate. Obviously, if you have a few extra computers, a few extra wallets to host those transactions being sent and received, you're going to be better off. But even if you just have one computer, well, I wouldn't say that. I would say if you have two computers, you're pretty much set for mining at this point in the game. There's a lot of news I want to provide. But first of all, we got a donation from Dimid. He is one of the, main proponents of Bitcoin POW in the Telegram channel. And he has made a pretty cool concept. I'm not a fan of every aspect of what the guy's making, and I'll get into that momentarily. But, in the spirit of having received a donation, for the first time, really, and a considerable one, I wanted to basically represent or at least make the community aware of the platform that he's created. So without further ado, we're going to go to utxopool.com. And this is a Bitcoin POW specific type of platform. So what I really want to bring your attention to is the fact that there's a Telegram group where you can ask him any questions that you may have. Under the tools, we've got the transaction accelerator. This is really my favorite aspect of his platform. All you would do is go to your Bitcoin POW wallet, you would copy the transaction ID, and you would paste it right here, and boom, add transactions. So you can also do this from ZegX because ZegX, our primary exchange at this time, they don't use I think it's called the RBF. Now they have recently, but they still have a cap on what they're willing to spend for the transaction fee. So my advice to you is that when you make a withdrawal from ZegX, especially, you're going to want to put it in this utxopool.com/accelerator, transaction accelerator. You're going to paste the transaction ID that it provides you on the withdrawal slip. You're going to paste it right in here, add the transaction, and boom. It doesn't matter what ZegX is willing to pay. There's a guy with a couple million transactions that's going to be willing to basically mine your transaction and get it processed with his computing power. So very cool community contribution, very cool community support. Additionally, we've got under the tools. Wow, they got it in blue. If you're on the current tab, that's actually really cool. So the top mining addresses. This is pretty crazy. It can show the amount of blocks that a given address has mined. And I would say a lot of these are from the earlier days because back then they didn't have the automation that we do now. So we had to basically, in the early days, we had to stockpile all of our mining transactions on one address at a time. It was really kind of crazy. And a lot of us were doing it manually at first until the code was out to automate it. So, these people probably were hosting servers in the early days before the recent wallet update that reduced the hardware requirement considerably. And I would say that one thread on a server could host, you know, 300,000 transactions or so per thread minimum if it was a decent server. Now that's commonplace for a wallet to be able to host that on almost any computer. But back then it was a lot harder. You needed better equipment, more electricity, all that kind of stuff. So, that combined with the fact that it was only one wallet address, boom, you got one wallet address that hit 168 blocks. Now that's obviously the best performer out of all of them. But we got the top 100 mining wallet addresses. I think I saw myself on here at one point in like the lower end. Or wow, it goes even further. They really let this go to 300, the top 300, and even lower. So these are the ones that have only hit one block, and some of them were very early. You see, so yeah, I would say actually these are probably whale wallets, and they only hit like 50 Bitcoin POW at a time. I just wanted to watch, or I wanted to observe the website basically, and then he's got a fee calculation section that I haven't seen yet. Actually, I just figured I'd give you guys the grand tour while I'm here. So check it out. The average fee rate is 0.16. Now, that's not how much is spent on a transaction. It's per V size. So the V size kind of is, how many batches of transactions are being sent in your single transaction. How many UTXOs are being sent in that one transaction? That determines the weight, the V size. You can verify by looking at the transaction IDs here, and you can just click them and they're hyperlinked to the Explorer, which is actually really cool. This is kind of like the most legit platform that I've seen for Bitcoin POW, besides like the website, the block explorer, things like that. But no, I guess it's got blocks, pool mining blocks, which is interesting. This might be what the pool itself is hitting. There's a lot that I need to say about that though, because the pool is a little bit suspect in my opinion. So basically, there's a million. Hold on. Whoa, 10 million. This guy's been stacking a lot of transactions, actually. So he's definitely a whale, the guy that runs this. And he's got 10 million transactions. Basically, you can buy these UTXOs with Bitcoin POW, your address for payment of the rewards. This is the concept. It's not something I believe in. Additionally, there's a 20% pool fee, which is massive in my opinion. He's hosting all the hardware. You just have to pay in Bitcoin POW to get access. So when you think about it long term, there is an electricity bill to hosting this stuff. But now that the new wallet update is down or out, I would actually suggest that this is reduced to at least like, I don't know, 7.5% or 10% at the most, because the hardware cost isn't nearly as high as it used to be, and neither is the electricity cost to host those transactions. So I would recommend he drops this a lot. I mean, a real pool on a real pool compatible coin has a 1% fee usually at the most. So this is a little crazy. Additionally, you're buying basically an ETF of a Bitcoin POW miner. So you don't own the transactions. You're just basically hoping that this guy is going to give you credit for every block that he hits in proportion to how much you contributed minus his fee. Not your keys, not your coins, guys. That's the problem. I don't know if you've ever seen that saying, but if you don't own the private keys to those wallets, you don't hold the coins. And if somebody wants to change their mind and leave, they're going to leave, and this guy might be legit. He seems like a great guy. He looked out for me. He, contributed to my cause. Not many people at all have made donations, so it means a lot, and it would have meant a lot even if other people helped. So, again, me and Richard and Sponge and a few of these other guys, we've been working really hard to keep the community sentiment positive during this kind of turbulent time. It's our suspicion that there's some people basically trying to suppress the price. There's a lot of greed in Bitcoin Power right now. So people are trying to load up coins for cheap. They're trying to FUD. They're trying to keep other people from seeing the potential of the coin. So it's really not a good situation in that sense. It's nothing we can't handle, but it makes our job harder. And, you know, it means that we have to put in more time to maintain a rational, educated, and intelligent, insightful community sentiment and perception of what they're really looking at when they look at Bitcoin POW. So, you know, we basically had mentioned this, and a few, you know, this one individual with the Bitcoin POW UTXO pool said, hey, you know, given that you guys have been working hard, I want to help out. I can't put in the man hours, and I understand that it requires work to get this stuff done and to maintain it, and it's taxing on the mind and body to an extent. So he wanted to contribute. You know, he wanted to at least show us a sign of recognition. And you know, me and Richard, we really, really appreciate that because of everything we've done so far. It just means a lot to see the community, you know, just respect and acknowledge what we've tried to do on our side of things. We're not crazy big whales or anything like that, like people might suspect just because we're helping out. I mean, we each got, I don't want to disclose, like, because I don't want to speak for Richard, but I'll speak for myself. Like, I've got about 1.4 million transactions, and I'm hoping to scale that up with the hash rate. You know, I'll hit a block like once every like 4 to 7 days now. So it's not too crazy at the moment. And if I want to keep up with the hash rate, I have to reinvest a large portion of that block. So um I don't have a ton of coins idle either. So really the transactions are all I got. If the hash rate runs like crazy, I'm just not going to be able to keep up. So I really hope that, you know, I'll be able to accumulate, and I'm excited about the future, and I just want to participate in the security of the network, and you know, hopefully it becomes a, you know, a very rewarding process. I'm just working hard for now. So anybody that sees that, either in me or Richard, I have our donation addresses in the description below. I just wanted to take a moment to give some insight into, you know, our situation, what we're trying to do, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, we appreciate you guys that hear us and want to do something to help out. So thank you for that. This UTXO pool, you know, in summary, I don't know about it, guys. I would recommend that you solo mine. If you want to mine, do it yourself. That's the whole point of Bitcoin POW. So the fact that this guy made a pool, I respect that he wanted to get people involved in community mining and stuff within reason, but the liabilities are too great. I can't exactly recommend it, but I'm sure they're going to find other utilities for this platform so that maybe they'll have to change the name, but I'm hoping that there'll be a centerpiece in you know, utility that supports the Bitcoin POW project. So I'm definitely a fan of the guy. I'm a fan of what he's trying to do. I don't know about everything he's doing, but you know, the tools over here, the transaction accelerator, the top mining address display, and the fee calculation, I really, really like that, guys. So I'm happy that this guy's doing what he's doing. This is probably the best utility that I've seen for Bitcoin POW because the fee market is so distorted, not distorted, but so unique, so different from, you know, a standard blockchain's transaction fee structure. It's the closest thing to compare it to is Ethereum in a way, but not really. It just fluctuates so rapidly, and sometimes the fees are astronomical. So just sending a one transaction to try to get through, you know, a decent quantity of Bitcoin POW to another address, it can be very tedious when you're competing with people trying to pump through millions of transactions a day, and they're bidding up the price of what it costs to send a transaction. So I really like what he's done here. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for him. Really happy about it. That's all I got for now, guys. I want to do an update on the new wallet release. It's something that I need to do. So, look, guys, it's been awesome. Thank you for your time. Hope you have a good rest of your day. I'm looking to put some more videos out soon. Thanks.